Mavs win Game 2 in Minneapolis with Luka Dončić's step-back three-pointer to take the lead with just 3 seconds left, and the Wolves failed to make the final shot. The Wolves led by as much as 18 points, but the Mavs clawed back in the fourth quarter. With 11 lead changes in the final quarter, it was a thrilling game, similar to Game 1. How did the Mavs come back from such a deficit? Let's dive in. Before we start, if you want to skip the recap and go straight to the Game 3 preview, click the timeline below. In Game 2, the Wolves didn't change their defensive strategy, maintaining the same matchups as in Game 1. Yet again, they gave up 54 points in the paint, compared to 62 in Game 1. Daniel Gafford was 8 out of 10, and Dereck Lively 2 was a perfect 6 out of 6, all dunks. This shows how effective Luka and Kyrie's pick-and-roll game is against the Wolves' defensive setup. In the second quarter, the Mavs tried playing one-on-one without initiating screens, which didn't work well. They adjusted in the second half, cutting the deficit and ultimately taking the lead with Luka's clutch shot. Defensively, the Mavs maintained their strategy of protecting the rim and not overreacting to three-pointers. Gafford had 5 blocks by himself. The Wolves adjusted their offense slightly, with Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards combining for 15 of 17 free throws, though most of these were not in the fourth quarter. Towns only played 320 in the fourth quarter and had a rough shooting night, similar to Edwards from beyond the arc. The final turnover was critical. If the Wolves had scored, they would have had a 2-possession lead. This highlighted the Mavs' strong defense. On the last possession, Rudy Gobert should have ensured Luka didn't get a 3-point shot off, as the Wolves still led by 2 at that point. Coach Finch may realize Rudy struggled with that matchup, but didn't adjust to have him guard Derrick Jones Jr., potentially putting Anderson on Luka after the screen. Now the Wolves are down 0-2 and heading to Dallas for the next 2 games. However, the Wolves seem to favor away games more than home games, having won 3 games in Denver in the second round compared to just 1 at home. So all hope is not lost. The first 2 games' results were not encouraging for the Wolves. They made 19 three-pointers in Game 1 and led by 18 points in Game 2, but couldn't secure a win. Some might argue that the officiating needs to change, as a controversial call ruled Jaden McDaniels out of bounds, which could have been a foul on Kyrie. But the Wolves didn't lose the game on that call or Luka's step-back 3. They lost because they blew an 18-point lead. What can the Wolves do in Game 3? They must win this game, or the series might be over. P.J. Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. combined for 2 of 17 three-pointers in the first 2 games. Will Coach Finch insist on the normal matchup? Rudy against the center, putting him in front of arguably the top 2 pick-and-roll masters repeatedly, leaving the air open for Gafford and Lively alley-oops. Maximizing Rudy's roaming ability would benefit the Wolves, letting him guard P.J. Washington and protect the rim. Letting Lively or Gafford find open corners after the pick and roll instead of attacking the rim directly might be a better option for the Wolves. Those dunks are just free money for the Mavs. In Game 2, Luka had 32 points with 13 assists. Does that sound familiar? In Game 5 of the second round, Nikola Jokic had a similar 40-plus-13 performance. The Wolves cannot let Luka do whatever he wants on offense. Compared to the Mavs, the Wolves rely heavily on their defense to lead their offense. During clutch time, Edwards is not as lethal as Luka or Kyrie, so they need a safe lead to secure the win. Offensively, the Wolves need more patience. Edwards and Towns should find ways to attack instead of settling for three-pointers if it's a rough shooting night. If Reed hadn't knocked down 7 out of 9 three-pointers, Game 2 might have ended earlier. Several times, Towns attacked the rim immediately after receiving the ball, which worked well. The Wolves need to create more opportunities like that for Towns. The Mavs don't need major changes defensively. However, offensively, there were several possessions where Jaden Hardy initiated the offense, which didn't go well, especially in the first half. Normally, either Luka or Kyrie will be on the court, so letting them initiate the attack might be better. They only had 10 turnovers, an improvement. All right, Game 3 might be one of the most important games for the Wolves, but the Mavs will want to close the series quickly if possible. They won't let the Wolves take it easy in Dallas. who do you think will win Game 3? Let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this breakdown and share it with other basketball fans. Your support helps us bring you more in-depth analysis and insights. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos where we'll analyze and predict the rest of the series. Leave your thoughts and predictions in the comments below.